Hey everyone, I'm Phoebe Wild with BoardGameGeek at Gen Con 2016, and I'm here with Duncan Malloy from Osprey Games. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's day 3, so I'm just about keeping awake, but I'm doing all right other than that.
About the same as me. And he's going to tell us all about Agamemnon. Agamemnon?
Agamemnon.
There we go.
So Agamemnon is a new area control game that we're bringing out. It's a new design from Gunter Cornett of Kahuna, and Hey That's My Fish, is one of my personal favorite designers. And it's a 2-player game where we are playing Greek gods trying to affect the outcome of the Trojan War. The only real influence we have is where different people are at different times. So how this manifests in the game, each of our tiles, which we have here, are going to be played in one of these spaces. And if you notice, each space is connected by a number of different connecting pieces, which we've called strings. So if I was to place a piece, for example, in this space here, it would be part of this area here, but also part of this area along here. And each of the areas at the end of the game, once all of the pieces have been deployed, are controlled in a different way. So this type of piece here is just controlled by simple majority, so who has the most pieces in that area. This one here is military strength, so whichever player has the most spears on their playing pieces. So we've got a spear piece here, or another spear piece there. And this area here is controlled by leadership. So whoever plays the leader token of the highest rank. So if I show you guys one of the leader pieces here. If I was to place this piece here, for example, his rank would be contributing towards this area. His 3 spears would be contributing towards this area. And the piece itself will be contributing towards this area. So at the end of the game, once all of the pieces have been deployed, you're going to see who is in control of each area, and the player who's in control will take the connecting pieces. And once all of the areas have been resolved, the player who's holding the most strings of fate is the winner.
And are these set up the same way each game?
So this side of the board is set up exactly the same way every time, but on the reverse of the board, there's actually a modular board where there's 4 different types of connections. And what it allows us to do is it allows us to randomize a starting setup where you have 24 different possible setup options, but even though it's randomized, every one of those is going to be balanced. So we've set it up in such a way that there's more of a particular type, but for example, the spears might get set up on the green spaces in one turn. I might just, actually, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, just flip it over.
There you go. So you've got 3 different types of connection, and only 3 of those are going to be used in any one game. So at the start of the game, you'll randomly draw, for example, the red tile, and that's where you'll set up the spears, the blue tile, and that's where you'll set up the leadership pieces, and so on. It plays in about 15 minutes as well, so for something that's quite thinky, it's a lovely, quick little game.
So on a player's turn, they just pick one and
exactly.
place
So
it on the
on your
board.
turn, you're going to flip 2 of these tiles up, all of the tiles are face down, and deploy both. So I'm going to say put that one there, and maybe that one there. Now there are 2 special tiles, both of which are going to affect the way that the connections are laid out on the board. This tile is a split, so for example, if I was to put it here, this area here would count as one area, and this area down here would now count as a separate area. And this particular piece, which is here, if I just set these connection tiles up again very quickly. This particular piece allows you to swap any 2 of the connections coming into that space. So hypothetically, I could swap this one and this one, and suddenly, if you had deployed pieces up here to try and take control of those areas, they have a much smaller area. And all of this along here is now a much, much wider area that I have an opportunity to now. That's, in essence, that's the game.
Cool.
So we've got the variant board, we've got a couple of variant play styles included in the rulebook, and that one is, I want to say $24, but don't hold me to it, I'm very sorry.
Is it debuting at Gen Con?
It's debuting here at Gen Con, and it will be out in retail stores across the States and the UK at the end of the month.
Cool. Well, that is Agamemnon. Thank you very much.